We all rise for the pledge to the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If we'd all remain standing for a moment of silence, we're dealing with wildfires in our country, and we also just have a lot of people overseas that are fighting for our protection and our safety, so please keep them in mind.
Notice requirements of the open public meeting will have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger published a notice on October 6, 2023. A copy was posted on the municipal bulletin board and should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from October 22nd, 2024?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Beginning with second reading ordinances this evening, we will take letter A first, which is a bond ordinance, authorize the appropriation of up to $5,950,000 for issuance of bonds to finance such appropriations. I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter A only.
Good evening, John Vatari, Woodbridge. Letter A, the bond ordinance authorizes the making of the various public improvements in the end of the Woodbridge Township. What public improvements are you talking about for $5,950,000 down payment? What improvements are we talking about?
It's various paving projects throughout Woodbridge Township.
Just paving projects.
Paving.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions on letter A from the public? Letter A. There are no other comment. Can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter B is an ordinance authorizing the mayor and the council to de-annex certain lands known as Block 23.05, Lot 1. I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be opened.
Motion.
Second.
Any comments or questions from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter B only.
Again, John Vatari, on the letter B, what block and what land are we talking about? How come we never bring up the location, physical, like the block and lot number? A lot of we don't know what it is, but where is the land and what's it for?
It's in Casby, and it's a three-person committee to oversee the Casby development plan where the new school over in that area.
Okay, good, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions or comments on letter B? Hearing no other comment, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letter C is an ordinance adopting the amended Port Reading Avenue Area 3 redevelopment plan. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be taken up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letter C only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Letters D and E are both first reading ordinances. Can I get a motion that these two ordinances be passed on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on November 15, 2024, with notice of public hearing to be held on November 26, 2024 at 6 p.m.
Motion.
Second.
Questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And before you, I have listed 25 items under resolutions. Please pull item number 24. With that said, can I get a motion by consent to approve 1 through 23 and 25?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments?
I'll be abstaining from number 25.
So noted. Any other comments from council?
Mr. Mitch, I'll be abstaining from resolution number 21, please.
So noted. Any other comments from council? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. That's all I have, sir.
Okay. At this point, we will go into our public portion, public comment portion of the meeting. The microphone in the back, in the blue marked off area, is where you should speak from. You will be given a one-time opportunity to speak up to 5 minutes. That includes my commentary. I will give you a 1-minute warning, and we just ask that if you have any signs, that you keep them with you and you do not put them in any walkways. We'd ask that you state your name and your section of town that you're from.
Yes, sir.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. My name is Gary Diedelmeyer. I live in Colonia, Meehan country. Life. Life could be great, and life could be hard. Life can give you a lot of problems. Health problems, money problems, work problems. But if you're part of the 99% of people who live in this great country, there's one problem you don't have to worry about, and that's your freedom. Because the remaining 1% of that population defends that freedom for you. Yesterday, the 11th month, the 11th day, the 11th hour, was Veterans Day. We honored the men and women who defended this country in the past and right now. And it was a great day. You had a parade here in town. People pledged their allegiance to the flag. Wonderful words were said of praise. We showed our respect. But, there's always a but. It's Veterans Day. One day a year. Don't you think they deserve more than one day? In my humble opinion, I suggest you find something that you inspire about a veteran, something that makes you know that that guy's a veteran, whether it's their commitment to serve others before themselves, their love of this great country, respect of the flag. Take some of these ideals and insert them into your everyday life. This would make the men and women who served our country, who fought for our country, who put the time in, who accepted the sacrifices, feel worthy and accepted. It would make them feel like they live in a life with purpose. September 12th, 2001, the day after the terrible tragedies in New York, Washington, and Pennsylvania. Flags were everywhere. Homes, businesses, cars. You couldn't buy a flag. What the heck happened? What happened? Where are the flags? I drove from Colonia to my VFW post in Kenilworth. On private homes, I counted 7 flags in 3 towns, excluding the township's flags. 7 flags, 3 towns. What happened? Old Glory is still the greatest symbol of our nation's unity. Displaying our country's flag proudly shows your support for the American values and for those who fought and are still fighting for our freedom. Let's get our flags back out, people. Ronald Reagan stated, "Some people live an entire lifetime and wonder if they ever made a difference. A veteran doesn't have that problem." Thank you for your courtesy.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Niemeyer. Thank you for your service.
Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is Ron Wyatt. I live Chestnut Street in Avenel. And for quite a while, we were having speeding car issues coming down our street. I had 2 cars total at my house, and then my truck was hit, and his 2-day-old Tesla, my truck landed on. and we had about 15 people come here for a meeting to address it because we were for a couple of years complaining about the speeding cars. We came in and we spoke to the council and to the mayor and Corey, and as soon as we were done during this session, the mayor called us out in the hallway, and he came and spoke to us privately, and he said that he was going to take care of it. And to be honest with you, we felt like, yeah, sure. The next morning at 8:30 in the morning, there were some guys out on our street checking out the signs, all right? And long story short, you guys came through for us. It's taken us a while to get back to say thank you, but we really appreciate it. And I want to encourage all you guys on the council who have the power to help the citizens. I'm impressed that he said he was going to do something, and he did it. And I think the state of the country right now, you got half the people happy, the other half not happy. You have some very good power in your hands. Don't take it lightly. And again, it's been quite a while. Every time I see the mayor, I say thank you. But I wanted to publicly thank him and Corey because they came through for us. And I'd like to encourage, take your job very seriously and help solve the problems here, you know, and that's it. I'm almost in tears because I'm grateful for what you did. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Corey. Thank you, council. Appreciate it.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
I'm sorry, Council President. If someone sitting in the audience, I know you guys have the agenda and the ordinances, but I believe that there are 2 high school students here that need that so that they can follow the meeting. If you're not going to do anything with it, if you can share with them, that would be great. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good call, Council.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello again, Jessica Mayer Vivinetto from Avenel. And I understand the Woodbridge Town Council in part is here to represent the community and its residents. But us as a group, we feel that you're being dismissive with us. You've said the only part that Woodbridge plays with Sequest is to oversee the food consumption for humans. And that's not true because Woodbridge signed off on the permits that were issued. I wanted to let you know that Sequest in Fort Worth, Texas just closed on October 28th. They abruptly closed after being reported for possible animal cruelty. They're now permanently closed. The Humane Society, the director down in Texas, Alex Gamez, issued this statement. We urge them to send all the animals neglected in their care to accredited sanctuaries rather than to other Sequest locations or similar attractions. The horrific mall-based petting zoo are plagued with animal deaths, injured children and adults, and more than 100 federal Animal Welfare Act violations over the last 5 years, including most recently when customers were bitten by a sloth and a Bengal cat, both of which are at this location. They have both of those animals at this location. Now, I want to mention that I was there on Saturday again. I went in and I watched the Bengal interaction, and I have it videoed. People are supposed to go in and touch with 2 fingers only. These cats were being pet on their full bodies, and the employee that was in there with them did not push the Bengal cat away from the woman until she grabbed the cat underneath its face. It only takes a split second for a bite to happen. They're poked and prodded at against their will. To think that they're not going to react at some point in time is ridiculous. That brings us to 5 locations in the United States that Sequests have closed. Colorado, Connecticut, Georgia, Virginia, and now Texas. I want to remind you that this location is still under indefinite probation. We're growing momentum. We don't look like we're a big group, but we are growing. We're getting national attention. We continue to make it abundantly clear to those that we speak with, be it the public or to different news agencies, that you're not helping us. I know you're saying it's not us, but you are supposed to help the residents. I'm not going to go away. We're not going to go away. The only thing that's going to go away is going to be Sequest. And I'm asking you to decide which side of this battle you want to come out on, with us or when they close and you're in the news as the people who didn't help us. Thank you.
Council President, if I could respond to that. Yes. Before you comment, I just want to allow our legal response.
So to be clear, the township permit that was issued is only for the purposes of verifying that the premises the animals are kept in are suitable for their health. Everything else is regulated by the state. In fact, the regulation of the health of the animal and the premises it's kept in is also regulated by the state and federal government. The township has a permit in place that basically says they are complying with state and federal law. State inspections all say they're okay. Federal inspections say the same thing. Yes, they're under probation at the moment, but there's nothing the township can do because the higher authority, which is the state government or the federal government, they've ruled to determine that they're okay. So at this point, all we can do is wait for any violations to be issued by the state or federal government. At this point, there's nothing else we can do as a township.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nicole Paternoster, Avenel. So I appreciate that information, but we did ask to sit down with you in order to have a face-to-face conversation. So on October 21st, we formally requested a sit-down discussion during the council meeting, followed up by emails from the group to you, all of you, on October 22nd. October 23rd, we received a message thanking us for our care and compassion, but no dates were offered. On October 24th, we were informed that there would be meeting options in the coming weeks, yet we heard nothing specific. After reaching out once more on October 30th, we still have received no response for anyone on the council to sit down with us and at least see what we have. So while we have been ignored here, we are not being ignored in other places. ABC News just recently sat down with us, so I'm hoping Woodbridge gets the national attention that it deserves at this point. Congressman Frank Pallone's office reviewed our documentation with us and has directed it to the appropriate documentation. And the city of Summit in New Jersey gave you guys a wonderful shout out the other night talking about this situation down here. Councilman Andy Miniger stated, they have been protesting there frequently about a horrific welfare situation happening there. For these kinds of situations that are happening all over the state, but also in particular those at Woodbridge struggling to make their city council hear them on this issue and help them push this over the finish line. This is a no-brainer, and we can and should pass this resolution. So that was Summit talking about a resolution that they were passing to ban off pet shops and other places like this from opening in their city. So getting some good attention all over the state as well. Our voices were also heard by If Cage Walls Could Talk, a radio show in Chicago, and by countless supporters who have signed petitions and participated in email campaigns to amplify our messages. But here in Woodbridge, our voices have been ignored. So let me be clear. We do not plan to go away, and we do not plan to stay silent. We will continue to speak up and inform the public about Woodbridge, New Jersey, a city for now that seems to be willing to turn a blind eye to animal suffering and public health concerns. Once again, we ask you to sit down with us, not as a formality, but to genuinely address our concerns and show your commitment to the well-being of our community and the animals involved.
I'm Carrie Spuga from Seaside. As you know, Sequest is an aquarium petting zoo in the Woodbridge Center Mall, which is currently on probation due to abuse, neglect, and death. For the past 5, including tonight, New Jersey residents and employees have described threats of human safety, animal welfare, and illegal procedures currently happening at Sequest. So before you had mentioned the farm animal permit, which is signed by the health department, that has nothing to do with the illegal fish pedicure that's going on right now. There is no permit for that at a zoo. Okay, let's see. So instead of going on and on about the suffering like we've been doing five meetings in a row, we thought just relaying some numbers would be impactful. The probation I mentioned from Fish and Wildlife, which is under Department of Environmental Protection, is 32 pages. The Woodbridge location has a 32-page violation report. 5 sequests have closed already. 300 animals died at one of them. 100 animals died at the Woodbridge location, according to former employees. We're not making this up. We have evidence. 100 marine animals were shipped from Colorado sequest to Minnesota location. 100 dead marine animals upon arrival. Who does that? They shipped 100 animals. They were dead and frozen upon arrival. In the last 2 weeks, we got 7,824 citizens to sign the petition to shut down sequest in Woodbridge. The residents don't want this here. 50 just signed for the illegal pedicure. 34 reported bites, 19-page complaint from PETA, 19 protesters every 2 weeks. 80 citations over the past 5 years from government authorities. Have you ever wondered why the CEO just stepped down in August? 2 state laws have blatantly been broken. New Jersey Statute 45, 5B-13D, and New Jersey Statute 13:28-2.15. These laws are obviously being broken. If the Woodbridge Town Council is not going to take action to enforce these laws, what's our next move? Do we get the police involved? Thank you.
I have another comment from our legal.
Just to clarify, those statutes cited are enforced by the Department of Cosmetology, which is a state agency, not municipal government here. So we have no jurisdiction over that issue.
And the cosmetology department referred the PETA attorney to the health department in Woodbridge.
Well, that's improper on their part. The ordinance is clear, I'm sorry, the state statute is clear that they have enforcement authority over that issue, not the township.
Right, the cosmetology board is in charge of licensed salons. They have nothing to do with an illegal fish pedicure.
Okay. We can't have back and forth. If you wanted to stay at the microphone, you could have stayed at the microphone. Our position is to set policy, resolution, and pass laws for Woodbridge Township. As our legal representative has stated, we are not in the business of enforcing those laws. There's an agency in the state that we go to when complaints are brought in. Many businesses have operated under probation. It's their probation is giving a business an opportunity to correct the reason that they're on probation. And so they go in, they get inspected during that time. But it is not our job as a council to go in and enforce. We will listen to the complaints and we redirect them. We redirect complaints to our health department, who then contacts Fish and Wildlife. That's the process that we go through. It's not our responsibility. Well, it is our responsibility to see that we have businesses that operate within the parameters and the laws that are set in Woodbridge Township. But there are measures in place so that happens. And as I said, we're not law enforcement here. All right, we will listen to complaints, but we've received the emails, we've read all of them, we've spoken and listened to people as they come, when they said that we're not listening, we are listening. And we discussed those matters. I did not agree to meet with anyone, all right? I know members of the council may have done that, but I feel that some of them have had second thoughts based on the information that has been given to us from our legal team, okay? Are there any others that would like to speak?
My name is Situk and I live in Fords. I would like to ask you about the quiet ordinance. I did ask in many different occasions and I'm here again. 2 times per week, I get up before 5:30. Not because I choose to, but because the white truck with the Woodbridge Township logo on it comes to pick up the garbage from the next door neighbor who runs a business from how we all know by now, a residential home. So I'm a resident, I need my quiet time, I do not have, and I do not wish to get up 5:30, like today and every other time on the garbage is picked up. How you are gonna address this issue?
Our start time, ma'am, for trash pickup is 5 a.m.
Okay, I am not talking residential trash, which doesn't bother me when they pick up from the residential neighbors. I'm talking a commercial, the oversized dumpster, which has wood pallets, which has pieces of metal, and most of this garbage, believe it or not, comes from out of town. They bring it by trucks. I even have videos about it. They threw it in this dumpster, which is supposed to be an office, and then I get 5 o'clock up because they have to pick up this trash. It's not residential. On residential, whatever garbage is picked up, I don't even hear. It's nothing heavy duty, it's just some household items. So it's a commercial one. Is there any way you can take it after 7 o'clock?
Our business administrator would like to comment on that.
Well, I will say, if you have any evidence of anybody bringing garbage from out of town into town to be dumped by us, give us the evidence. That's illegal. We'll take action.
They do actually have 3 businesses operating on Woodbridge Avenue in Edison, right before...
That's not evidence. You need to give us evidence. Give us a license plate of the truck, a picture of the truck, a video of the truck.
Their license.
If anybody's bringing garbage into Woodbridge Township to dump it and we're paying for it and it's not our garbage, give us the evidence. We will take action right away.
Okay, what about the time picking
The
up?
time is 5 o'clock.
It's not residential, it's commercial. It's commercial.
It doesn't matter. 5 o'clock is when municipal and commercial garbage can be picked up.
So in other words, I do have a special treatment to get up just because my neighbor on residential zone is running a commercial business. I'm a resident. Why cannot have the quiet time like everybody else? Why there are businesses operating out of residential zone?
If you have evidence of a business working out of a residential house, please provide that. That's also illegal.
Ford's Lawnmower.
That's not a residential, that's a business zone.
Ford's Lawnmower is in residential 6.
It's a permitted use in it's a business permitted use in a residential zone.
You have 1 minute remaining.
That's not illegal. There's businesses in residential zones all over town. They may have gotten a variance when they opened, who knows? Businesses are allowed to operate in residential zones.
what is their scope of practice? Is that conforming zoning from residential zone? The scope of practice.
Scope of what?
Scope of their practice. What is their activity?
They sell lawnmowers. They're allowed
That's
to.
one.
They're allowed to.
And repairs.
They're allowed to do that.
All under 1,000 square feet, there are at least 3 businesses. It's allowed to?
It's all allowed. We've looked into this, we've communicated with you over and over again. Everything they're doing on that site is legal.
Thank you for your comments, ma'am. Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Arlene Rhodes, Fords. I am here once again to advocate for a dedicated and fully structured TNRV program for Woodbridge Township. This year, we have trapped 179 cats. This number does not include the litter of kittens or friendly cats that we rescued off our streets. Last time I was here in April, Mr. Anderson, you said the shelter was going to TNRV 100 cats this year. To date, they did 38 cats. I doubt that 62 cats will be completed by December. Your vet, the township contracts with, cannot complete that number in 6 weeks. Also, from June to the end of August, the shelter claimed to have ringworm, so no intake of cats, whether stray, TNR, or owner surrendered, were permitted in the building. Dogs and other animals were allowed to enter. Ringworm is an infection, very contagious, but can be contained to one room to prevent spreading. I also feel your organization should have had an alternative plan in place for this mildly infectious disease. Council President, may I address the mayor?
Yes, you may, but I will make the first comment that I did not say that we will.
Yeah, you did.
I said that we are on target, that we have done 25 at that point, and at that point, it looked as though we would get to 100.
Okay, but we got to 38.
We were extrapolating data.
Okay. Mayor Mack, you keep telling residents that the township does have an operational TNR program. When the residents call the shelter, they are told no program is available. I opened the shelter and was told the same. If only 38 cats were completed out of 100 that was promised, there seems to be a miscommunication somewhere. Do you know where?
The issue is the availability of space in our shelter, and when we don't have space in our shelter, for example, there was just a fire in town, and 9 cats were rescued from there, and they're in the shelter now. That takes up the valuable space. We can't bring in a TNR cat if we don't have the room. We have a program in place. We're satisfied with the program in place. We have no intention of expanding the program in place.
Okay.
But when we don't answer a call for a TNR, it's because we don't have the room.
Well, as per Title IV, the shelter is not required to keep TNR cats housed in the shelter for 7 days, due to the fact they are community cats and not considered strays. That's just a little FYI. You don't need to hold them for 7 days. They can go right back out. There are so many residents overwhelmed and looking for assistance. They are actually doing the right thing by calling the shelter when they have 1 or 2 cats. To no avail, they do not get help. By the time they call us, they are so discouraged the population of cats have grown, but we assure them that it's very possible to manage the colony. By doing this, it prevents kittens from being born and the cats are vaccinated and fixed. Mr. Anderson, you also inquired why we do not work with WAG, the rescue, and I say that not knowing what it really is. According to WAG president, it is not a rescue, only used to fundraise for shelter pets. They do not have fosters, bottle feeders, trappers that volunteer in their program. I'm not sure why all of you refuse to acknowledge the need for a TNRV program or to get financial support or recognition. We are all devoted volunteers and do not get paid to do this. We usually end up using our own money to support this cause. In ending this, I am proud of myself and the volunteers who do this thankless job to help our community. I just want to share with you, these are the people we helped this year. Okay?
Thank you so much for the work that you're doing. Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, Council President Anderson, Vice President Spiller, and council members. Thank you for the opportunity for allowing us to speak tonight, and thank you for all that you do for our wonderful.
What's your name, sir? I'm sorry.
My name is Gerard. My name is Gerard Rangel.
Okay, are you from Woodbridge, or is there another part of town?
So I am technically from Piscataway.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were benefited. Christina will speak shortly. We were benefited from the, WASV, Arlene, specifically for her help and her volunteerism. And so it's a privilege to speak today, even though I'm not technically from Woodbridge. But we do really appreciate, Woodbridge. Public libraries. Her older sister's first home. The restaurants. It's very dear to our hearts. This township, especially because it gave us one of the biggest parts of our lives, our rescue cats. We just wanted to kind of illuminate what Arlene is kind of saying tonight. And so I'll start off by just kind of explaining how this process was for us as lay people, just trying to navigate the available resources that we could find as best as we could. And so it was, it's very difficult, I know, and so to guide us, right, it's the Woodbridge Township Municipal Code, humane treatment required, no person shall feed an outside cat unless the cat is spayed and neutered. That is the abiding rule. I wasn't even aware of that until I, tried to look it up and try to educate ourselves on it. It's very difficult, since June. I just want to kind of show, if everyone could see this photo, this is just kind of the reality that we try, we go to, as soon as we open our door, they're very friendly cats, and it's very difficult to try and navigate this space. Trying to abide by the municipal code, but also trying to, we go to St. James, the Catholic Church. We believe that it's our duty to be good stewardships to the animals, and so it's hard not to not leave out food, and we're grateful for Arlene and WASV because it allowed us to finally get them TNR, trap, neuter, release. It was a difficult process, and so Tina will speak briefly about, she did most of the work in trying to reach out to many different organizations and nonprofits and rescue, and it was challenging, not impossible, but we're telling you this because we're wondering if it's possible to maybe consider, or to the means extendable, right, practical, if there's any resources that could be done more, for lay people to get more education about what we can do when all these community cats come to the doorstep and multiply at a very rapid rate. This is something that we tried since even 2020. It was manageable in 2020, but it's kind of revved up this year, and so that's my time. If you want to comment before Tina speaks, though.
Thank you.
My name is Christina Larobis. I'm a resident of Port Reading. I've contacted several organizations to help with the TNR of the cats because we care for them so much and we just want their wellness and their well-being taken care of. So I was very grateful for Woodbridge Animal Society volunteers with Arlene that they were so generous to help us quickly so that we can address the issue before the winter time comes and to take care of these animals that deserve a home and need the help. So just wanted to ask and get the support that these animals need. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Are there any other comments?
Hi, Council. My name is David Rudd. I live in Fords, and I just wanted to thank you very much for the opportunity to speak tonight. I do want to acknowledge Arlene and the hard work that she does with WAS. These ladies, I know you know them. I know that you've had long conversations with them over time, and maybe it hasn't always come to be eye to eye. Maybe we haven't really reached a solution yet. There is a cat problem in Woodbridge like there is in any town, and it will continue to grow if it does not get addressed. And the work that these awesome ladies is doing from the bottom of their hearts to help address it is, I think, very much needed. As their numbers show, and as some other people will state, that they've been benefited by it. Cats get out of control. They just do if they're not neutered. So I was wondering if there is a program in Woodbridge, why it's not functioning well enough, and if it could function better, and maybe if there's some way that WAS could be supported by the Woodbridge effort, maybe some collaboration of some kind.
So there is a program that our health department has. That's a word that Arlene and we don't agree on. She doesn't believe it to be a program. We believe it to be a program. As she pointed out, and I would have to check her numbers. I'm going off of her numbers right now that we have TNR 38, okay, this year. At the time the last time she came to the meeting, there were 25. And that's why I said, well, it looks as though we are on target where we may hit 100. I'll have to check with the health department tomorrow. If we TNR 100, there will be someone that will say, well, why aren't we doing 200? Okay? There will always be a number that won't be satisfactory to someone that would want the department to grow and expand to do more and more and more. I don't get many complaints about a cat problem in Woodbridge. I do hear about it from Arlene. Arlene sends me messages regularly, and I read them, Arlene, okay? And she knows that, all right? Arlene and I are friends. We just don't agree on this subject, okay? Our boys play ball together, and I love her. She's a good friend of mine. But we're not on the same page on this just because of where our health department has met needs for the stray animals that we can house. But it could grow and grow and grow. And then there are other programs that are out there that if we agreed to work with Arlene's program, or if we went with someone else. If we went with someone else and said, all right, well, you know what, we like this group better. It's not always going to make everyone happy, because they'll tell us what that group doesn't do right, instead of working with their group. So we do have a program. It just is not satisfactory to the numbers of cats that are TNR'd in their eyes.
Awesome. Thank you for your response. I wonder if there might be just maybe some time, a way to additionally investigate those numbers, and maybe dig down a little more and see if we are doing the best we can. All right.
Yes, and we do ask behind the scenes. We do speak with our health department to get as much information as we can about, are we doing everything that we can for this issue? The answer is no. We could be doing we could always be, we could do 200, 300, 400. It's at what point do we stop?
Sure, yeah.
And we appreciate the volunteerism that goes on. Everyone on this dais are volunteers for something that was not funded by the township. And we've all done things that we knew that were helping others. And this is why we've all are blessed to be in this position, because we're now able to help people in other matters, but we're not able to help everyone. And we do our best to try to make sure that we listen to everyone and we try to help them the best we can. It's not always going to make everyone happy, though.
Keep on doing it. Thank you. All right. Appreciate it.
Hello, good evening. My name is Medha. I'm from the Island section of Woodbridge Township. I've been in the township for 24 years now. I recently came across for a need for a TNR program. I wanted to call out to, I want to give a shout out to Arlene and Marge for really kind of, stepping up. And in my personal experience, I actually had a very hard time finding and getting information or response back from our township's TNR program. My neighbor on whose property these 9 cats actually kind of have multiplied from 2 to 9, actually. We got 6 of them TNR with Arlene, thanks to WASV. What I was wondering, and I heard your comments to the prior gentleman here, I'm wondering, why is it not a collaborative effort with Arlene? If you're okay with doing the volunteer work and doing catching and helping out, then where is it that things are like on either side of the fence? Why is it that there is no collaboration so that this looks like an extended program offered through the township? I see Arlene doing hard work, going out of the way to Robbinsville, getting the cats TNR, and it doesn't seem like you need 7 days of care. And most of the rescue places that I called, I finally got to them, of course. They noted that, actually animal rescue places, centers are not the places where TNR, program should be, because most, it's not suited to house them or things like that. So my question is, why is it that the township not able to hand this off completely, or in collaboration work with volunteers in amicable way, so that this doesn't come across like an issue, but more like a extended program, and the number is then, regardless whether it's you're doing 38 or you're doing 100 or 200, I agree with you, it's never going to be an end to it, but at the same time, we could try to do as much together. So that's my question.
So, and I appreciate your question. I would like to remind everyone that it was the council and the mayor who worked and collaborated with Ms. Petro to start the animal shelter in the first place.
I see.
All right? That was many years ago. Our animal shelter was started because of her efforts. And this is how things happen. They don't always happen in the time frame that everyone wants it to happen, but it was because of her and her advocacy for animals that the mayor listened. We started the animal shelter about 15, maybe 14, 15 years
2007, actually.
2007. And we appreciate everything that Marge, the work that she did to help us with that. Now, this is something different. This is a different task. And this is something that we hear about, no different than the people that are coming here, the constituents that are coming here on behalf of the animals at Sequest. There are people that are going to come in, and that is their issue and that is their topic, and they're going to bring that to our attention. And we, as a dais, we discuss it. We talk about what we can do. Many of us have even said, let's go over and see for ourselves what's going on. We're not going to, when people tell us about speeding on Main Street, we don't go out and issue the tickets. Our job is to ask our traffic department to go and do a study and to issue tickets and enforce the law. That's how things operate. We will collaborate. Arlene knows. I met with Arlene. I went to the Rio Diner with Arlene, and we had a very long conversation. We also have corresponded privately many times, and Arlene sends me a lot of messages.
So
All right? I try to read all of them.
To your point, I would like to, at least to me as a layperson and my first time kind of getting getting an insight into this, it seems like it's some internal dispute or some kind of disagreement. If your job is essentially kind of look into this and then try to resolve, and I would think there is a scope for you here to kind of, see where are the matters falling apart, because based on some email exchanges that I have seen, there seems to be some disagreement between two people somewhere in the seats that they are. So it's just that as a result, we are not able to, we are on this kind of, either side of it. So
I agree.
I appreciate your time, and thank you so much for all the this. But I also want to really, because of them, we could get 9 of these cats TNR today, and we have a controlled population now. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments. I appreciate them. As I said, we could agree that we would do this if we did a program. Then it would be, how much are we going to do? And if we said we'll do 100 per year, then we'll say that's not enough. So what is the number? What's the actual number? And do you just continue going and growing and growing? Because what will happen is then we will have animals being brought here from other communities.
because Woodbridge is such a big, large community and towns. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I have to, hi, your name?
No worries. Hi, everyone. My name is Ishan Nawaz. I'm a resident of Avenel, New Jersey. I'm also brought here because of Arlene, and I want to give my thanks to Arlene for all of her help and assistance. It's also my first time at a city council meeting, so I did want to take a chance to give a thank you to Councilman Corey. I moved to Avenel 3 years ago. He was a great help. I had some issues. He talked to me probably 4 or 5 times on the phone for 20, 30 minutes each time. So, Corey, thank you very much. But similar to what my colleagues have been saying, after I moved into Avenel, the townhome that I bought, there was a colony of stray cats that was already living there. I've never been a cat person. I'm allergic to cats, but over time they grew on me and I grew on them, so we've gotten a good relationship. One of the cats ended up having a litter of about 5 kittens, so we went from having 4 cats to having 9 cats. A lot of the kittens didn't survive, given them living out in the wild. I did call the Woodbridge Animal Shelter, like many other people have said they've called previously. I was told by the animal shelter that there is no program in place right now, and they also advised me to not feed the cats because as far as the township is concerned, then the cats are my problem essentially, or I don't remember the exact words that were used. I called around a bunch of places and I was told on the low end, $600 to $700 to get a cat neutered and spayed, which I don't have that across 6, 7 cats, unfortunately. I was very fortunate to get in contact with Arlene, who helped us out. They actually trapped the cats earlier today. But the point of my story here is essentially, I understand we can't really expand the program too much or whatever the limitations are. I would ask that you all please at least consider it. To the point that you actually just made of people coming in from out of town, I wouldn't entirely agree with that. I originally came from Union, which had its own program in place. If I could go out of town and go back to Union to do it, I would have done that, but it seems like that's not really an option, of course. So thank you for all that you do, of course, but please, I would ask you all to consider expanding the program, or at a minimum, maybe having something in place to educate residents when we call. Again, I'm new to all of this. Being told that there's nothing in place didn't really help me all too much. So thank you for your time.
Appreciate your comments.
Hi, everybody. Marge Petro. You all know me. I'm glad you brought the shelter up, Mr. Anderson, because the Woodbridge Animal Shelter was opened for Woodbridge residents. And I have a huge issue with all these other towns we've taken in. For what reason you've taken them in? You're stressing out the shelter, you're stressing out employees, and I don't know why. You need to take in all these other towns. I don't get it, why you're doing that, but whatever. Numerous people have called the shelter, and I don't blame them for saying there's no TNR program. How much do you want them to do? The building is small. It's not a huge, giant shelter like New York or something. So far, since February of this year, I've taken in 45 kittens that would be out there reproducing and 15 friendlies, mamas or what have you. The rest we TNR. There's no reason why the township can't work with us or work together. You don't have to talk to people. We could do it by email. I mean, this is getting ridiculous. Truly, it's getting to the point where it's so out of control. I don't think you have any idea how out of control it is with the cats. Then when people call the shelter and the shelter says we have no program or we can't help, then, what do you expect them to do? It's just a no-win situation. So I think people need to work together on this and start thinking of something, sitting down, trying to find a resolution to this problem, because it is a problem and it's not going to get any better. And with all these new apartments, they're all animal friendly. So if somebody moves or they don't want their pet anymore, where they go? To the shelter. And I don't see why. I don't understand why we have to take animals from other towns. Don't we have enough in Woodbridge? I think we do. Any answer?
I didn't know if you were asking me a question.
No, I'm just looking for a response. I'm just out
Okay.
there. It's just.
I was nodding my head in agreement
Yeah,
that, you've pointed out a number of things that you've observed over the years. And our town does grow. And with that, yeah, there may be an
Yeah, but
issue.
why are we going to other towns? Why is the shelter contracted with other towns? Is money that important? What do you need the money for? See, this is what I don't understand.
So, we do work with other towns, yes, in our shelter, yes. For various reasons, as shared services. We use shared services in other capacities as well. It's not just, but, you know, when Hurricane Sandy hit, a lot of our heavy equipment went over the Driscoll Bridge to help a lot of the communities down there. So it's the same, but it's the same thing. We do things to work, we barter where they will help us with some services and we help them with some services.
Yeah, but now we're talking, okay, but we're talking about a shelter that was opened up for Woodbridge residents. That's my point.
Council President, if I could, she makes a good point. And I think that as these contracts come due, it is worth a look to see if we should be doing them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Especially the ones that are not even,
I mean, this town, wait a second. I mean, the shelter will always be near to my heart, whatever, but.
it's only here because of you.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Well, you can't work.
Well, kind of.
Yeah. Marge, you have 1 minute.
I just don't like the idea that we're taking other towns. It's my personal opinion. I'd never turn the animal away anywhere, but come on. It's our shelter. You put too much stress on the shelter, too much stress on the employees. They're running, I see them all over the place. I also see, you know, I see other services in other towns, okay. But, you know, let's wrap this up. What is that?
Well, Marge, you've always been a deal maker, all right? And it looks like you may have struck a deal tonight, all right? But what it goes to show you, and I've heard it from a few people that have stepped to the mic that have had personal contact with people on the dais. We do listen. And we don't just come out and have a hard line and say, no, absolutely not. But there are times when enough people come out, there are times when things do make sense to us. And we want to make sure that you understand that. We do listen. I think we made some ground tonight. I do think we made some ground to reconsider a contract with another town because maybe we can now open up and do some more for Woodbridge, okay? All right?
We've had some humdingers.
Okay.
Are there any other comments this evening from the public?
Thank you.
I'm sorry, you're only allowed one
something else.
one
It's a
opportunity.
street sign missing, sir.
No, you.
The name of the street is missing for 4 months.
Excuse me, Councilman Anderson, that's my word, so after the meeting, can you just come up here and give me the address of the area? The sign will take care of it. Thank you. I mean, 4 months, I just got a phone call out earlier. Okay. After the meeting, just come up, see me. Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening?
Tara.
Javed Woodbridge again.
I'm Mr. Vitara.
Javed, it was a very impressive night. I guess we all learned a lesson, and we all kind of agree, and some disagree. But I want to say first thing about yesterday.
If we could limit the conversation, because I can't hear Mr. Vitara, I'm sorry.
I want to just what Ken brought yesterday about Veterans Day. Myself is a child of the lost hero in Europe. You know, a lot of us take our freedom for granted. Now, health, you got it. You don't take care of it. You're free. You disobey it. You don't honor it. And how are we going to pass it down to next generations? Only way we can do it by never forget what happened before. So it was very great, and let us not forget what we got, treasure it, respect it, and God bless America. But again, I want to talk about the lady with the people with the problem in the Woodbridge Center with the fish problem. I'm the one that has a cosmetology license for the last 65 years. To get a cosmetology license, you have to do 12 hours in schools and be a cosmetologist. you cannot work with the patients, put a hand on a human being in a salon if you don't have the license. Now, anybody can own the salon business. That's a different license. That's a shop license or nail license. That's another license, which is bought by state. It is a state licenses. But again, to tell people that you can hire and work in a salon that doesn't have a license to work on a customer, call it, you can't put hand on it. That's how you spread the disease. Because you have to, cosmetology is probably the most hardest test, maybe the nursing, but we know more about bones and cleanliness and hygiene and everything else. It's cosmetology. Question could be in those stores, you got a Woodbridge Center, why is only, how many are there in a state? I don't think 2 or 3 maybe not even that many. Why not? If it's probably good business. But how come the other communities don't allow them to open up? There's got to be the reason. So let's look into it. I mean, some municipalities, they don't approve the license. Like you don't approve all the licenses in this town. No matter if state approves it, but that doesn't mean you have to do it. There was that too. Let's talk about our beloved cats and dogs we all love, treasure. The mayor said, you all agree with it. I'm proud of it. We all know as the town is growing, so it's going to be the more pets. The problem we got, that's all over the world. People have them. A lot of times they're moving to different places. They're not allowed to have them. So what they do, they let them go. They throw them on the street, disobey them. And I think only answer is maybe, like town is growing, so maybe should improve the animal shelter, make it bigger. It would be nice if people over here, they work hard for them. They need volunteers, I understand, to walk the dogs and take care of the cats. But making bigger facilities, as the town grows, it will be more people, more cats, more dogs, whatever you want to call it. So I think you're the right track. Let's talk about solve the problem. But again, I was made aware of it. Dog park at Avenel. People say people come up to bring the dogs from Staten Island in a buses or whatever trucks. They let them run over there. And I said, well, do they have licenses? Well, no. They shouldn't, anybody, no dog or any animal should be allowed to go into facilities with a dog park. I'm sure that they. Now, most important thing came tonight. So, God bless you people. Mayor, on October 1st of last month, you said over here that you were extending Omar Avenue in Avenel, and that the reason was because of the warehouses. I have cut shorts anyway, warehouses. And it's been $82,000 first phase of the thing. And the thing you're doing that because the warehouses traffic. My question would be to you, before I remember many years, the builder has to build the roads before they build the structures. And just yesterday, Monday, was the Wall Street Journal, the warehouses in New Jersey, 5 million warehouses are owned by Chinese, renting. Question is any warehouses in Woodbridge that's a Chinese tenants or owned by Chinese?
All right, finish this question.
I have no idea. I don't care. If you want to know who owns the warehouses, you can go look them up. If you want to know who rents the warehouses, you can drive by and look at the signs.
That doesn't mean...
We're not going to help you with this one.
Okay.
Listen, Mayor.
That's your time, sir. You
Okay.
asked your question, he answered it.
Those people heard it. Thank you.
Are there any other comments or questions from the public tonight? Hearing no other comments, can I get a motion that the public comment portion be closed?
Motion.
Second.
Favor aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Okay, we will go into our public portion, our agenda portion of the meeting. I want to thank everyone for their comments tonight that came in. Again, we appreciate all of those who are advocating on behalf of animal rights. I would like to acknowledge that our Woodbridge Community Charity Fund has 1 day remaining. First prize is $2,000, second prize is $1,000, and third prize is $500. Tickets are on sale at the mayor's office, and you can call 732-602-6015, and that's between the hours of 9 and 4 p.m., and you can purchase tickets through Geraldine Mazurek and Loretta Dowd on the 3rd floor. The winners will be announced tomorrow at 5 p.m. at the Acacia Youth Center on Port Reading Avenue, and the winners do not need to be present. I do want to acknowledge some of our youth sports and cheering programs. Our Woodbridge football Broncos are in the regional playoffs for our 9U and our 10U programs this weekend. Our 10U will be participating in Buckstown, Pennsylvania, and our 9U will be participating at Woodbridge High School on Sunday. Come out and support the Broncos. Our JV cheerleaders have qualified for nationals in Florida, and we're very excited about the cheerleaders for our, these are our middle school cheerleaders. They're going to compete down in Disney, and that'll be exciting for them. I want to acknowledge all of the fall sports for Woodbridge Township. In particular, my alma mater, JFK, had a significantly improved football season this year, and I'm very happy for those young men. And then also Woodbridge High School and brand new coach George, who came in his first year in May, which is very short notice to take over a team, and led them to a school record 10 wins and 1 loss. On Friday they lost their game, and had a very outstanding season. They had 20 seniors that they're going to be graduating, and we're going to miss all of them. Other than that, I'm going to ask if you know anyone who is out of work and looking for work, please go onto our Employment Opportunity Center on Woodbridge Township website. There are a number of companies, especially at this time of the year, a number of companies that are advertising, specifically looking for Woodbridge Township residents. I'm going to move over to Council Vice President, Mr. Spiller.
Thank you, Council President Anderson. Item number 1, Avenel's Very Merry Holiday Lighting. Please join us on Sunday, November 24th from 4 to 6 for our annual tree lighting and menorah lighting. The event will be held at the Avenel Firehouse. Please come out and have pictures with Santa. Santa and Elf, enjoy bumper cars, horse and carriage, light refreshments. Our local school chorus groups will be singing your favorite Christmas carols and much more. Please come out and watch us light the 17-foot Christmas tree and 6-foot menorah. The rest of my agenda is in order. Council President, just 2 announcements. The New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection and the New Jersey Division of Fire Safety has implemented a fire ban on all properties throughout the state. This includes what would normally be classified as permitted, all open burning in devices on all properties. Even if you're within the permitted language of the open burning ordinance, residents would be in violation during this ban. And just like Gary, the one resident said, I'd just like to thank all our veterans for all their services, not only on Veterans Day, but for throughout the entire year. Thank you to all our emergency responders, our fire, EMS, our Woodbridge Police Department, CERT, all of our public works, and township employees. God bless America. Thank you, Council President Anderson.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Councilman Bauer.
Council President, my agenda's in order. Just one announcement. There's no reason to wait 4 months to come to a council meeting to complain about a sign that's down. See something, say something, so you can reach out to any of us on the dais. Our emails are found on the township website, or you can contact the police non-emergency number at 732-64-7700. I'd like to thank all our veterans out there for their service, those serving here and abroad. God bless all our first responders, and God bless America. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Councilman Small.
Thank you, Council President. Join us at the Port Reading Firehouse for the Port Reading annual Christmas tree lighting, hosted by Port Reading EMS and Fire, Tuesday, November 26th at 6:30. I ask you to please bring an unwrapped toy. It'll be donated to the Bristol-Myers Squibb Children's Hospital. You'll enjoy roasted s'mores, making crafts, take a picture with Santa, hear carols from the Woodbridge High School Choir, enjoy holiday treats and hot chocolates, send a letter to the North Pole, and much more. And I want to thank all our generous sponsors who are participating in it. On November 30th is our annual light parade. It takes place at 6 o'clock. It starts on Main Street right here. Please go to our website to see the route locations, and we have approximate times where it's going to come to your neighborhood. It's going to be bigger and better than ever, and I want to thank Mr. Mitch for all his efforts. I want to thank all our veterans, all our first responders, township employees, and God bless America. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Councilman DeJesus.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I just have one announcement. The Woodbridge Public Library is accepting registrations for a citizenship class that will begin in January. Please contact Anita Alvarado of Literacy, New Jersey at 908-486-177, extension 402. The Chamber of Commerce, Woodbridge Libraries, and local author Jay Logan have put together the first Central Jersey Book Festival to be held at Ross Street School in Woodbridge this Saturday, November 16th, from 11 to 5, with a visit from Santa scheduled from 4 to 5. 55 authors will be on hand to talk about their work and sign their books, including Alec Lesniak, Kiana Davis, and Debbie Meehan. Check this in case there is another collection in town. The libraries have placed boxes inside their entry doors for a Coke donation on behalf of the Rotary Club of Woodbridge, Perth Amboy. New and gently used coats for all ages and sizes will be collected and distributed. And then I have a library from Greg. Since he's not here, he wanted me to announce a couple of things. The senior free movies will begin our Thursdays from 12:30 to 2:30 p.m. Brown bag complete lunch for $5. November 14th, 23 and Blast, which is the PG-13 movie. November 21st is Girl Hunts Boy, another PG-13 movie. These are all held at the community center. Bagel and Coffee Seminar. The host will be Maria Ben Eckert, MVP Insurance. Topic, Glover 2025 plans. Wednesday, tomorrow, from 11 to 1 in room 214 at the community center. Pickleball in November. It is every day. I guess you can call the Woodbridge Community Center. Further times, free for members, and there's an admission fee of $10 for non-members. TRX and kettlebell training starts Monday, December 9th at 5:45 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. It's a 6-week session. Members pay $54, non-members $79, again at the community center. Join us for our senior holiday luncheon December 10th from 12 to 2:30. There will be music, food, and prices at the community center this Tuesday, December 10th from 12 to 2 at the Roller Inc. Please RSVP by Tuesday, December 3rd. There will be an $8 admission for lunch and dessert. Contact guest services at 732-596-4170. The cafe is open at the community center every day, Monday through Thursday, 11 a.m. through 8 p.m. Fridays, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday and Sundays, they open at 9. And again, if you go to the Woodbridge Community Center online, or if you go to the location, you can get the November for adults and teens, their schedule. And that is all I have. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Councilwoman Meehan.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I just have 2 announcements. Please join us for the annual Colonia tree lighting on November 30th at 6:30 at the Evergreen Center on Inman Avenue. There'll be a sing-along with St. John Vianney's Choir, costume characters, and hot chocolate and snacks served up by the Colonia Fire Department as we await the Township Light Parade with Santa, who will briefly stop to light our tree. On December 6th, we'll be hosting the Holiday Cookie and Cans event from 6 to 9 at the Colonia VFW. We will be collecting donations of food for families in need so they can enjoy a nice holiday meal along with homemade cookies to send to our local troops that are serving away from their families this holiday season. If you have extra candy you want to get out of your house, we'll take that too, because we'll put that in the boxes. Also, if you have a loved one from Woodbridge Township that is serving overseas or out of state and you want them to get one of these boxes, please reach out to me. We'd love to send them the box with all the goodies and the handmade cards from the children. You can reach out to me at 382-0273. Also that evening, we'll be collecting toys for our township toy drive to help brighten holidays for local children. New and unwrapped toys can also be dropped off at the Woodbridge Community Center and all of our township senior centers. And that's all I have. Thank you to all our veterans for serving. Thank you
very much. Councilwoman McCall.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order. I only have one announcement now because other announcements all went out. So we are going to have a tree lighting in Seymour this year on December 4th at the Memorial Park on Woodbridge Avenue. So look for the details on that. And also, I should talk about I know that Councilman Small talked about the light parade. Prior to the light parade on November the 30th, the holiday stroll is going to be in downtown Woodbridge. So come out, get some, check out what's going on in town. We're going to have an ice skating rink there. It's not a real ice skating rink, but you can ice skate. There's going to be, I don't know if they'll have s'mores with the fire restrictions, but they usually have s'mores. They have someone who does ice sculpting with a chainsaw, which is a really cool thing that happens. And there's going to be horse rides and stuff like that. So come out and check it out before the light parade. Stay for the light parade, which is really a great event. And also go there and visit the Gallery on Main, which is located on Main Street. And you can get a free holiday ornament that is made by some of our local artists that display in the Gallery on Main. That's all I have to say today. Thank you. God bless all of our servicemen and women that are serving, and thank you for taking care of our freedom in the United States.
Thank you very much. Mr. Sinaluka?
Council President, if I could, I just want to mention the weekend we had for veterans in Woodbridge, which was absolutely amazing. It started with the luncheon on Friday at the Avenel Maple Tree Senior Center. It was coordinated by Hank Kaidaker, who runs that center. He did a phenomenal job. His supervisor, Cynthia Ruzich, all the other 5 coordinators of the senior centers chipped in. Last year, there were 50 veterans. This year, there were 81 veterans. Hank went to every VFW, every American Legion. The coordinators went to all the people that come to their place and just did a phenomenal job. It started with the St. James Singers and the Bell Ringers, went to the North Jersey Young Marines for the flag ceremony. They had Carl Fazio singing America the Beautiful, a longtime veteran. Gene Burkhart from Island American Legion with the missing veteran table. Ray Orris giving a speech. The Grand Marshals were 3, I can't say 3 people. It was a man, woman, and a dog. It was Jeff Mullins, who we all know. We've known him for years. His wife, Nancy Mullins. They've been very active in the town for a long time. And their service dog, Zoe. They represent Rebuilding Warriors. They were a great choice for the Tri-Grand Marshals, and they were so happy and they were so proud. Their organization is actually moving to Woodbridge. That national organization is going to be run out of, for now, their home in Fords. They're taking over the whole thing, and then they're going to look for office space and be right here in town. There was gifts for the veterans. There was a tremendous lunch for them. Absolutely terrific, the job that our staff and our people did. And then Sunday, the parade, Brian Molnar, Paul and Blosik in the Recreation Department did a fantastic job. 35 marching groups. Main Street was lined with people, more than I've seen at a Veterans Parade, and I've been doing this for quite a while. Excuse me, more people than we've ever seen, and that they should be commended. Everybody who chipped in, Public Works, Police, of course, everybody there. And then yesterday, there were 6 different ceremonies in town. Unfortunately, they're all 11 at 11, and none of us can be in 6 places at once. We managed to get to all 6, 1 active, and the other 5 we just hung around with the people afterwards, but they were all incredibly appreciative. We got an enormous amount of comments and compliments about the luncheon and about the parade. So this was a weekend where we all should be proud of the job that the people that work for us, they work, us as administration, you as the town council, we should all be proud of the job that our employees did this weekend. It was absolutely wonderful seeing all those vets at the parade, at the ceremonies, and at the luncheon, and how proud they were and how thankful they were for everything. So kudos to everybody. Thank you, Council
Mayor.
President.
I'll just echo your comments. The town does a job second to none when it comes to recognizing our military and our veterans. Thank you. Mr. Simaluka.
Thank you, Council President. I only have one item tonight, tax and sewer overpayments.
Thank you. Assistant Director Liskey.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda is in order.
Director Darden.
Thank you, Council President. Just trust standard by was the refund resolutions. Thank you.
Director Brew.
Thank you, Council President. I have two items. One is the release of a surety bond for 2 Paddock Street in Avenel. And the second is proposal from Collier's Engineering. That's a Green Acres survey update. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mr. Mitch.
The only thing I have is just to thank you for your review of the best practices of the great.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.